welcome into Viking on Demand with Ted Talk, sitting here with Coach Teddy Pettigrew, and here we are getting ready for game number 3 and looking for that elusive win right now, Coach. It was kind of a difficult night in Scotts Hill, however. We hung with them pretty good there for a little while. Really, I felt like that game was a 14-0 game. Those final 6 points was a cheap points there at the 15 seconds left. Blocked punt there. But the game was much closer, I think, than that score shows. And I know you guys looking back at film can see areas where probably we could have won that game, don't you?
Yeah, we saw a lot of mistakes that we made and a lot of points we left out on the field. So we just gotta execute better. We gotta take what we're taught in practice to the game field. And
yeah.
Man, like I said last week, and it was not a lie, we had our best three days of practice. Best week of practice since I've been in Humboldt.
Yeah.
But we got to carry it to the game field.
Yeah, man, you talk about weeks of practice. I know you had to practice a lot at night. This week you're back to your normal practice time. How is that translating? Do you think that's better?
I don't put it this way, to be honest with you, Sal. We had a better practice last week.
Really?
Today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Last Monday and Tuesday we had awesome practices. Yesterday and today has not been like it was last week.
Yeah.
It may be because we're practicing right after school and they're tired from being in school.
Sure.
Then they have a chance to go home and get something to eat and rest a little bit. That may be the case, but I mean we can't just set practice at 7 o'clock at night. That's kind of unheard of. I mean, these guys, a lot of our athletes that work jobs. So
yes,
they last week their jobs allowed them to not come to work and to go to practice. So.
Did you come out of the game last week pretty healthy? Do you have any injuries that you've got to work around?
We're pretty healthy. We have some games who we have some guys this week who are suspended that cannot play because of things that happen in the school. So man, of course I can't say the names.
Yes, sir.
I mean it's unfortunate, but I mean you have to follow rules.
Yeah, and it'll probably become obvious Friday night. Are they in key players, key roles?
They are.
Hate that, but you're and this is one of those things. Maybe we talk about this at this point in the show. Football coaching is a lot more than just coaching what's happening on the field. You're teaching these men to be young men in life.
I am. If we don't win a game this year, my responsibility as a football coach is to teach them how to work through tough situations.
Yes, sir.
If you're a grown man and you're listening to this broadcast, you know that life is not easy. It's
That's
not
right.
a bed of roses. So you can work through things that are unfavorable, but still do your part for the team, which is the family.
That's right.
Which is a family. I mean, I'm teaching you something.
That's right. And, even using those moments where maybe you don't get the calls that you think you should get.
Right.
Sometimes things happen in life, and it's not fair.
Yes.
But you have to just keep pushing forward.
You have to keep pushing forward because if you stop, I mean, like I tell the kids, man, I'm tired, Coach. I want some rest, man. Your final resting place is when you take your last breath and you die.
That's right.
I mean, hopefully you live right. You with our Lord.
Yeah.
Savior. But my thing about it, man, as long as you're on this earth, it's work to do. So
yes, sir.
Always be willing to work. There's nothing wrong with hard work.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with hard work. And sometimes when you work hard, the outcome is not always in your favor as far as a win.
Right.
But in the long run, man, the outcome, winning at life, man, that's what you want to win at. This game is going to end for us all.
Yes, sir.
So, but what have you been taught?
Yeah.
What do you have in your gut? What have you been taught? Have you taught to persevere through the tough times? I mean, eyes forward.
Yeah.
Eyes forward. I mean, chin up, your eyes forward, looking straight ahead. Go through it, man.
Man, what does it feel like after the first 2 games of the season? I know you're 0-2. It feels like, we could have at least snatched maybe one of those games, and you'd rather have done that. Is motivation a struggle, or are the kids still pretty excited?
Motivation is a struggle right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what you have to go through. There is not a program that started off winning in the history of this game and continue to win.
Yeah.
So everybody started off losing or struggling to win.
Yeah.
And they have to find their way, and that's where we are right now. And I'm going to accept that challenge, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to push the kids to win. We're gonna still coach them the way we've been coaching them and try to get through to them, because I mean they're better than what we're seeing on Friday night.
Yeah, lots of film being uploaded obviously into Huddle, and I know coaches are watching film. You're preparing for Friday night against a Harding Academy team who didn't play last week.
Yeah, I spoke with their coach, and he just basically said it wasn't worth coming up here with that heat. 2-hour bus drive, and man, that's his choice. Had it been me, my guys would have played. But I mean, that's his choice.
That's right.
I respect his choice, and he knows his team better than I do.
Yeah. So he's coming Friday night.
Yes.
And they're going to be here, which the temperatures are going to be much better. That press box was hot. I know it was hot on that sideline. It was hot.
It was.
But I did see some things, and I know, again, it's game planning. That's you guys. You knew what to execute. The short passes was something we didn't see in the first game, and that kind of helped open up some things early for your run game. I know your run game probably didn't produce like you had hoped.
Well, the run game, when we did pop some good run plays, and then we had bad snaps to take us back 20 yards.
Yeah.
So it's self-inflicted wounds, man. We've got to stop doing that to ourselves. And I've got a center that's a freshman, and sometimes he get nervous.
Well, sure.
And sometimes, I mean, when he snapped the ball, it hits the quarterback in the hand, the quarterback drops it. Quarterback's got to execute. Center's got to execute. We all have to do our job.
Yes, sir.
We're expected to do that. So
yeah. Well, and you talked about that, and then the penalties. I know there was a couple of holding calls against us, but I've got it on picture. There was 3 guys hanging all over Shivers, man. On that, does he still get penalized because of his size? You think?
He does. He does. I mean, before the game, and this has happened the last 2 games we played. That's all the rest want to talk about is Stephon.
It's all right.
That's all they want to talk about is Stephon. How's your big guy? Where is he? Oh, I see him over there. And, and I'm asking them, okay, do you want to know what hammer quarterback is, what football kicker is?
Yeah.
And they want to talk about Stephon, which I understand.
Yeah.
They're expected to see this young man play on Saturdays and then hopefully play on Sundays. So they're excited to call the game. So a lot of it is just watching him play.
Yeah.
Instead of, calling the game how it should be called.
Yes, sir, definitely. So offense, I felt like we accumulated – I don't have the stats in front of me, but I felt like offensively we definitely accumulated more yards than the week before. It didn't show up on the scoreboard, obviously, but do you take some things from both of those games and build off of that and feel like you've got some foundation there?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got some things planned for this Friday night that – I mean, we've got to execute it to work in order for it to work. But, I mean, we've got a good game plan.
Yes, sir.
Watching them on film, they give you a lot of opportunities. We just got to capitalize on it.
So let's talk about that game planning side of things, because some people may complicate that a little more than what it really is. Because obviously you only have so many plays that you call in a year.
Right.
But knowing when to call the certain plays. How does that work? Do you get together with all the coaches and formulate the game plan, or do you you get the game plan and then you tell them, or how does that work?
No, we all sit there together and we watch film together, and we see the weaknesses. I mean, if I see some on film, I'm probably going, as a head coach, I'm coaching coaches. I'm going to say, you see that?
Yeah.
And I want somebody else to see what I'm seeing.
Yes, sir.
And they may point out exactly what I see. And a lot of times they do point out exactly what I see. So, I mean, we formulate game plans together offensively and defensively.
Okay.
I mean, our offensive coordinator is just as important to us when we're formulating defensive game plan as we, as a defensive coordinator, is to the offensive coordinator, because our offensive coordinator knows how to call the offense, but the defense coordinator knows how to stop it. So we bounce ideas off each other.
Just off the top of my head, I can remember about 5 fumbles defensively that we forced this year.
Yes.
We have been fortunate to come up with 3 of those. Last week we came up with 2 of them.
Right.
Your defense is really playing well in that category.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like they got to the corner and punished us as bad this time.
Right.
What do you want to see that defense? They're playing so good, but what do you want to see them improve?
I want to see them get off the field on third down. We had Scott Seal backed up that first drive that they scored. We had them third and 14, 15 yards, and we're yelling on the side. I don't know if you guys can hear us. We're yelling screen.
Yes.
And sure enough, they throw a screen and get out of it with first down.
Yeah.
We're yelling at the guy's screen. I mean, we practice that in practice. I mean, if you're getting rushed on the quarterback, you got to stop, peel back, because it said no screen.
Yeah.
Then we got guys watching the kid that's catching the screen instead of going and tackling him.
Yeah.
So you watch on film, we're in position. We're just not getting there. We're watching him catch the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. And, defensively, I think it happened a couple of times on third down, jumping off sides.
Yes.
That's the kind of stuff.
That's going to happen.
Yes, sir.
Because guys are ready to come off the ball, but this is what kills me when we jump off sides and then the next play we don't come off.
Yeah.
You got to forget about it instead of pouting about it and come off the ball, because, like it or not, it's inevitable. They're going to snap the ball again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Harding Academy comes from Memphis. Obviously, they're doing their film study as well, Coach, and they're looking at us going, they're 0-2. You got a chance to kind of punch them in the mouth, per se.
Yeah.
What do you look at? Let's go offense first. What do you look at Harding Academy and their bread and butter on offense?
I mean, their bread and butter on offense is obviously their running backs. They got 2 guys that can run the football.
Yeah.
I mean, their offensive line will hit you. They'll smack you now.
Okay.
But our strength is our defensive line.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, it's going to be a exciting game to watch in the trenches Friday night.
How challenging is it? I know you have to bring Shivers and Cole off quite a bit, giving them a little bit of a rest. How challenging is that, kind of keeping that line strong?
My thing about it, and I got on to my coaching staff Friday, we got to rest those guys on defense.
Yes,
we can't
sir.
rest them on offense.
Yeah.
That's where we're struggling.
Yes, sir.
So we got some guys, that were supposed to have gone in the game to back them up Friday night, and I don't know, I guess it's jitters. They stood on the sideline. I'm like, what are you doing? You're the backup. Go in. Go in. So, I reiterated that in practice. When they come off the field, they need to break. You have to go in.
That's right.
We have certain backups for those guys. So,
thankfully, Shivers was able to come back, play strong. After the injury, I say injury. He kind of got dinged up there for a little bit. But I was glad to see him be able to play a full game and not have any issues.
Right.
So we've talked about Harding Academy on offense. What do you expect them to do on defense?
They're gonna bring the house.
Are they?
You're gonna see their middle linebackers walk up and not be a linebacker depth. They're gonna walk up in our face and they're gonna try to blitz the A gap, B gap. They're gonna bring the house.
So that offensive line better be ready.
They better be ready. And like I tell them this week, pass blocking is not pass blocking, it's run blocking. So come off the ball like it's run.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's going to be I'm glad to be back home, especially after the late night Friday night.
Yeah.
So we're about to we're going to interview for our player interview today, Keziah Curry. And you said really he took from the practice field and executed it the best on the playing field on the defensive side of the ball. Let's just talk about that young man.
He didn't make a ton of tackles, but he made so many plays. He set his teammates up to make tackles because of what he did defensively. He's strong safety, and whenever they're trying to one of the statements you made earlier is they didn't get out wild on us and have a lot of success, and it was because of his play.
Yes.
It was because of his play, and because of that, I chose him as Defensive Player in the Week, and the guy that's going to speak this week. He's a little nervous about it, but
sure.
But I try to reward guys when they do things well. I mean, he took what we taught in practice to the game field, and he executed it.
All right. We'll talk to him here in just a moment. And, Coach, appreciate you taking time for us for TED Talks.
Yeah, anytime.